4, 3. You're listening to Standing in Fire. Well, everybody, hello. It's so good to have you here with us on the Standing in Fire podcast tonight. We're all about Pantheon, Rise of the Fallen. We've got a full house. This is going to be excellent. I am Boom. And as always, I am joined by Tess and Militus. How are you guys doing this wonderful evening?
Good. I'm awesome. I'm a little flushed from being so warm.
Yes.
I'm doing fantastic, Boom.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So I made everybody wait because here I am at work, and I'm like, all I can think about is I'm Pantheon podcast. That's it. I'm like Pantheon. That's all that's all I got on my mind. That's the only thing I can think about in my entire life. I'm so excited about it that I was just jonesing. And so my secretary comes to me and goes, Mr. Cross, you have that appointment at 6 p.m. tonight. I'm like, what appointment? You never have appointments at 6 p.m. on a Wednesday. You know that Wednesday is the night I talk about Pantheon. And anyway, I couldn't get out of it. And so I ended up in a meeting. And so I made everybody late. So sorry, everybody that was expecting the show to happen earlier. I apologize. It's over now. I promise I'll be on time next week. But welcome to the show. We've got a wonderful show for you. We're going to be talking again about Pantheon. And I got to tell you, before we get into it, I prepared a little something for us that I think you guys can appreciate. Are you guys ready for what I have?
Uh-oh.
To get into right now?
What did you
guys
make?
know what that music means? That music means we are going to do
quiz time?
A quiz. We are going to do a quiz. Now, I was going to do this on Kahoot, but as with everything when I'm running late, I don't necessarily get it working very well. So we're not doing it that way. We're going to do it this way.
Okay.
So I don't get to put an completely inappropriate to the quiz.
No. You don't.
No. And hold on, I'm going to switch servers here because I don't know why you were cutting out on me there. Anyway, Here we go. So
okay.
Now we're
chat,
doing Pantheon. This is all about Pantheon.
Yeah, chat, you can
ready?
join in too, but we can't look at chat, Milla. You have to close chat so you don't cheat.
Ooh,
okay?
Yes,
but how do we know if they're right or wrong when we ask?
We'll look after the question. After the question has been answered.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody in chat.
I studied.
Just so chat knows, normally when we do this
Of course you did.
on this show, you get to go to the Kahoot website, and normally you get to answer along with us, and we actually keep score and everything. But because it's so crazy tonight, that ain't happening. But that's okay. That's okay. You're still going to have fun. All right. Are you guys ready for question number 1? All right.
Yes, I am ready.
All right. Now, I practiced all week on these names, by the way. I am going to butcher these names because a new game, new names, whole new nomenclature, and I'm a little off. So,
and some of those names are rough.
Ooh, some of them are rough. I have nicknames for some of the names. That's how bad they are.
Well, I have nicknames for all of them.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to start off. Question number 1. Terminus has not always been Terminus, at least by name. For most of its existence, this world went by the name of what? Terminus.
Are you going to give us multiple choice?
I am going to give you it.
So.
Terminus has not always been Terminus, but and Terminus, by the way, if you're new to Pantheon, Terminus is the name of the planet. For most of its existence, this world went by the name of. Now, here's the A. Okay, ready for A?
Okay.
Nice the Rock. Torin Bulge. It's a little known fact. New Haven or Etolis. Nice to Rock, Torin Bulge, New Haven, or Etolis. Now, if I butchered any of those names, I'm sorry, game designers. They're hard to say. That's all I got to say about that. What are you guys thinking? Tess, what do you got?
Well, I studied, but I don't think I remember this one. I'm going to say D, because A sounds similar to something I read having to do with something else. So I'm going to say D, Atolus.
D, Atolus. Okay, great.
It's either A or D, and I'm gonna choose the opposite test and go with A.
You might be right.
All right.
Whatever it's called. Nice the rock.
Miletus
I'm the rock.
is
whatever.
actually
Right.
correct. Miletus
Yeah,
is correct.
It's all right.
And I can't pronounce that, so my new nickname for that word is Nasty Rock.
Nasty rock.
So it's Nasty Rock is going to be my thing, and of course you would get rid of Nasty Rock. That would be, you wouldn't keep Nasty Rock as your deal. It would make no sense. So there you have it. All right. Question two.
Okay.
The lore speaks of 3 ages. 3 ages. Which of the following ages is not part of the Terminus lore? Okay, so one of these is not part of it. There are 3 ages. So the first one is Age of Seclusion. Second one is the Frail Age. Third one is the Age of Chaos. And the fourth answer is Age of the Black Rose.
I have my answer. I know this one.
Would you like those again, Militus?
The first one more time is the age of what?
Okay, so I'm gonna just repeat
I
the whole
got
thing.
the last
The lore
three, just the
speaks of
first
3 ages. Which of the following is not? Of course, my iPad just turned off here. Which of the following is not part of the Terminus lore? Age of Seclusion, the Frail Age, Age of Chaos, or Age of the Black Rose?
Okay, I got it. I know which one it is. It's D. Age
It's
of the Black
D.
Rose.
Age of the Black Rose. That is not one.
That's
That
the
is
name of a
correct.
keep. Black Rose Keep.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Age of the Black Rose is not one of them, and
Beat Militus.
for everybody in stream that's still having trouble, I'm gonna tweak the stream again. I apologize. I don't know why we're having so much issues with the output today, so I'm gonna see what I can do to help you guys out and get the stream working a little better. Anyway, all right. Question 3. So where are you guys at now, score wise? It's 2-1, right?
Yeah,
Militus
2 to
has
1.
gotten them both correct. Okay, very good, Militus. You're doing wonderful things. Halflings make their home in which city amidst the oaks of Wild's End? Halflings make their
Okay.
home in which city amidst the oaks of Wild End? Here's your chances. Now these are going to be really hard to say. Okay. Sorhithrinth. That's the only way I can say that. Sorhithrinth.
One more time.
Okay,
Try it one
that's all
more
I got.
time.
Sorhithrinth. That's all I can do. Sorhithrinth. Okay. I swear I sat there at my desk and I just practiced these time and time again. Fairthale, the Silent Sanctum, or Scargol.
I know the answer. I know the
I should
answer.
probably. I should have to answer first then, if you know the answer.
Okay, go ahead.
I know this is probably wrong.
Do you need them
I'm
again?
gonna say-
Sorry, I can't. If I can pronounce them
Yeah.
again, that is.
No, I think it's either A or B, but I'm gonna go with Fairtail. That's it. My answer.
The answer is A.
The answer is A. Very good, very good.
Tied it up.
No doubt. You're doing tremendous. You're doing tremendous work.
I studied. I studied.
I have got to. Oh my
So
gosh.
is Fairtail the area? I wonder.
I
Yes,
don't
yes, that's
recall.
gonna be an
Project.
area.
Okay.
Yep.
I know that's
Silent
the
Sanctum is
next
a city,
Alpha project.
and Scargol is a city. So we'll learn about some of this in the lore here in just a minute as we kind of get into some of these things.
Yeah, it's
All right. And now the reason I'm taking so long to say these is I actually just got to learn. I'm like looking at these words, going, "How did I even write this when I created this quiz?"
Copy and paste it.
Yeah. Well, I tried not to, believe it or not. So I don't even know this would have been so easier on the other thing because I can't even pronounce these. Okay. Islbrun Heidlin is what? Islbrun Heidlin is what? Now here's your choices.
Wait. Say it one more time.
Islbrun Heidlin.
Oh, I know this.
Is what? Okay. So here we go.
I know this.
Okay. We've got that photographic memory up there working out like hardcore. Okay.
I know it.
Is it a town outside of Fairthrail? Is it the creature that ended the decided war? Or the Deicide War. Sorry, Deicide War. The creature that ended the Deicide War. Is it the new calendar created by the Tholwyn? Or is it the Black Moon King? Would you like those choices again there, Militus? You're looking perplexed.
Yeah, that's going to be a constant theme of the show.
A town outside of Fairthrail.
Mm-hmm.
The creature that ended the Deicide War.
I'm going to
The
say
new
B.
calendar created by Tholwyn. Or the Black Moon King.
B. I don't know. B.
You said B? The creature?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Tess is so excited.
I'm so excited because I really know this one. It's C. It's the calendar. The name of the calendar. that
Really?
they made. Yeah. So and for short, it's IH. So like if they say 7IH, it's
Okay.
and 0IH. 0 is
That's when
when
races enter the.
no.
Well,
Races
right.
the first collision is at 7, but 0 is when all the dragons disappeared and effed off.
Dragon kind.
Yeah,
I like how
dragon
you
kind
just-
disappeared.
I like how you just were like, the dragons just effed off. All right.
Yeah, they just effed off. They're like, screw you guys, I'm going home.
That's when the dragons effed off. All right. Very good. Very good. All right. Last question. And I think Tess, based on what I'm getting, is going to have no problem with this last question. But here it is. What are the 6... Okay, let me start this over.
The Sacred Six?
Who are the Sacred Six? Okay, here you go. I'm going to give you 4 choices. Who are the Sacred Six? 6 races who were brought to the planet by a means still unknown. 6 stones kept by the ancient dragon kings. 6 members of the Revenant that tore through Terminus. 6 locations created to protect the populations from a power greater than the gods. What do you think?
Now, watch, I'll be wrong.
Would
I'm
you
so
like that
excited
again?
because I
Would
think
you
I'm
like that
right.
again? The
One
Sacred
more time.
Six. Are they 6 races who were brought to the planet by a means still unknown? 6 stones kept by the ancient dragon kings? 6 members of the Revenant that tore through Terminus? Or 6 locations created to protect the populations from power
Unless they
greater than the gods?
6
Stones?
stones.
6 stones. What do you got there, Tess?
I'm
6
pretty
stones.
sure.
I gave you a softball. This is actually pretty easy. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm pretty sure it's A. It's the 6 races.
Correct. It is the 6 races that
Okay.
were brought.
There are more
To
than
it.
6 races.
There
Yeah,
are. There's
but it's
actually
the
9, but
first-
6 were the Sacred
That
Six.
came in the first and second collision.
Then humans, Dark Mirror, and something else came at the end, right?
In the second. No, the last ones were the halflings, the gnomes, and the one that starts with an A.
There we go.
Yeah.
What?
All
wait,
right,
who-
yeah,
what are you talking- I missed that. You said the half.
Those are the
gnomes.
3.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 that aren't in the Sacred
Yeah.
Six.
Right. Yep. Your little tiny people that you want to be. You've got a little
steady.
picture of one right up there. Yeah. So you're the one
Virgilia
right
got
next-
it right.
That's what you. Yeah. Fragile is
what
all
the
about
Yeah.
it. You got. If you notice, by the way, if you're on our stream right now, you're noticing. You see the pictures there. You'll notice that right next to our pictures are the characters we intend on playing. So that's pretty cool. So did Tess win?
She won.
Tess,
Yes, I
congratulations.
did.
I am so surprised that Militus has not done his clapping for you. Like, he's got a whole bunch of sound effects, and he is slacking.
No, he gave me the goat noise.
Oh, Militus, you gave her the goat
Evil.
noise? That's great. Well, we're gonna wind this down. Sorry. Now, like I said, guys, if this sounds disorganized tonight, it is. and that's totally on me. Normally, I've got this thing on lockdown, right? Right, guys? Yeah.
No,
All
this
right,
is
here we
about
go.
what it's like.
Yeah, this is pretty much
It's
it.
Boom lamenting his existence, and
this is
Militus
pretty
and
much
I
it.
like flipping each other off.
Yeah, this is pretty much what it is.
Me reverting back to middle school.
All right. Well,
that's why I love this podcast.
Yeah,
speaking about reverting to middle school, Militus, did you know what day it is?
It's Pi Day, baby.
It's Pi Day.
Mm-hmm.
Boys.
So I just want to let you guys know it's Pi Day. Tess, can you tell everybody how they can reach us so that if they want to have more of this madness, somebody actually predicted
was that a natty
today.
light?
Yeah, that was, yeah. Okay, go ahead. All right. So as you're cracking open the cold ones here, tell everybody how they can reach us.
Okay. me. All right. You can contact us at our website, which is stopstandinginfire.com. You can email us at stopstandinginfire@gmail.com. You can tweet us at you can tweet us at SIF Podcast, or you can call or text us at 702-625-1337.
That spells leads. Hell yeah.
So, oh my goodness, just so you know, by the way, so the phone number is there. It does accept text messages as well, as we got from our, on the last episode, we played you the text message we got from the kid wanting to buy drugs from us. So you can just go there, and I don't have any drugs, but I will answer your questions about life, I know some things.
He does he's like a modern day Ask Ruth.
Yeah, you can ask me anything. And anything.
Dear Abby.
Yeah, you just go for it. You
having problems with sexuality?
I'll help you. I'll help you.
Really quick, Fragile in chat. That's not his name, but that's what I'm going to call him. Is
what if he's sitting there just pissed? And keep calling him
I hope not. I do it out of love. Gave us a correction. The three that aren't in the Sacred Six are halflings, Scar, and humans.
Halfling, Scar, and gnome. Yep.
Scar. I was wrong.
You think I would have had that all figured out by now, especially with all of the work I've been doing on that. But we're appreciating the chat room keeping us in line and keeping us kind of going. So we wanted to kick off the show tonight because we wanted to talk a little bit about why we're making the show and why we've done a lot of other podcasts. Just so you guys have a little background on us if you're not familiar with us. We decided recently that this Pantheon Rise of the Fallen game really deserves some attention, and it also gives us a chance to be very, very excited about things. Militus, did you want to kind of expound upon that a little bit? Why are we here?
Well, we've played lots of other MMOs as friends over the years, for those who don't know us.
And we are cursed with gamer ADD.
Yeah, we are. But, we like to have fun in MMOs. We obviously have good relationships with each other. We've met each other in real life before. We believe in community and relationships, and we just like having fun, and we like to not take things so seriously, hence the name of the show. And I think more importantly is we just kept kind of lamenting throughout our time of playing more modern MMOs about missing things like strategic gameplay. I don't necessarily mean slow, but slower, more strategic gameplay. CC.
Mega CC.
Dungeon crawling, pulling. Like I can't tell you how many times we have been podcasting and all of a sudden the morose pull comes up in conversation. World of Warcraft.
The best WoW pull ever.
But what it made great, right, was you had to be strategic or you died. And I just happened to stumble upon Pantheon, and I'm like, holy cow, this game has all these things that we've been lamenting about forever, and I think we should more closely follow it. And so we decided to start a show as a result of that.
Yep. We've all been on many different shows. Boom and I got started on a show, God, how many years ago?
It's been a long time now.
Yeah, like years and years and years.
You were
Um,
probably still in your teens.
Yeah. Bless you. No.
I think that's what was going on. Yeah.
No. But and that's where Militus kind of joined us. So we've been associated with kind of Big Deal Gaming Podcast, the Precursor Cast, and this is our second season of Standing in Fire. And Militus was on
The Wild Star Nation podcast.
Wild Star Nation. So we miss being in a community that is super excited. So many communities
with us in chat,
in chat and is talking. So many communities right now in MMOs are kind of on this like blah down thing, and we don't do this to be negative, or we do it to kind of celebrate stuff. And so it's kind of fun to be like crazy hyped, and it's also fun not knowing everything, and being like, how are we gonna, what is this going to be like? What is that going to be like? When is this going to come out? What is that going to come out? So it's super exciting. Although if you were Tess and you studied for the quiz, you would know more.
Yeah, you did. You studied for the quiz. You'll know everything. And I think a lot of the fans of Pantheon probably do know. We're probably coming in a little bit behind the curve, but we're gonna catch up.
We are totally coming.
We're gonna get there, and that's okay though. We're hoping to just introduce it to everybody else. But for me, the thing that struck me about the mission that this game repeatedly says is it's about the relationships and the connections. We wouldn't know each other if it wasn't for this wonderful world of MMO gaming. And Militus and Tess are dear friends of mine, and I am excited to offer that opportunity to other people to sort of be involved. And I was watching a lot of things this week, and I was even watching some people talk about Pantheon, and everybody's, there's some WoW players that are kind of like, oh, I don't want to play that game, or there's this and that. It's not really about that. I want everybody to know that, while this game might be a ways out and it might be kind of something that's distant and we don't have anything tangible maybe necessarily to sort of cling on to yet, it's about the community, and the community starts now. So the community doesn't have to start when the game starts. The community starts now. People, I encourage people to listen to the show, get involved in the show. Our podcast isn't even fun unless the community is involved. So I want people to come to the Twitch stream and watch it, not because we're trying to get viewers, but because I'm trying to connect everybody.
We want to talk
community.
with you.
Yeah.
And we want to just
this is our only time for social interaction.
Yeah. We want you to come on and tell us what you know. Yeah, we want you to be a part we want you to be a part of what's going on. And it also is exciting, and we can kind of have fun regardless of the outcome of just enjoying being a part of the community and just kind of rising up together and just having a lot of fun. So MMOs are what you make them. They really are. And if we choose to make them great, they're going to be fun and awesome. If we choose to be Debbie Downer about, the class not having a certain spell and not playing this way and this thing not being exactly right or whatever, then that's what we're going to be hung up on. And we don't want to do that. We want to have a great time. So for me, I'm just super excited to be a part of this. So thanks, guys, for joining. It's going to be awesome. We have about 4 hours of podcasting stuff to get through, so we got to do this fast. We're going to have to cut through stuff. Do you guys want to kind of go into the backgrounds a little bit, or do you want me to just run right in to the next little segment and we're going to introduce everybody to Pantheon? What do you think?
I think we can just move right into Pantheon.
So we're going to talk about. So I wanted to kick this off a little bit. So if you're new to Pantheon, you don't know what it is, or you're kind of just listening and picking up on this, going, "How? What's this new game all about?" I wanted to kind of talk to you about. So Pantheon: Rise of the Fallen is a new MMO title that is being produced by Visionary Realms. And it's a company that's got a wide background of people from other games and kind of other walks of life that are kind of coming into this. But I wanted to real quick explain the game tenets. So they have a page on their website that talks kind of a little bit about what they're designing this for. And I just found it fascinating. So their game tenants, they have an awareness that content is king. That's pretty cool, right?
Mhm.
They're building this game for content. They're building it to have exciting stuff. They're building this that a requirement that classes have identities. No single player should be able to do everything on their own. No single player should be able to do everything on their own. They want people to work together. That's what I'm hearing from that, and I think that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
They have a belief that game economies should be predicated on delaying and minimizing item value deflation. Now, I'm not a big economy guy, so if you are, I'm sure you're jumping out of your chair, just ready to get into this. They have a commitment to a style of play that focuses on immersive combat and engaging group mechanics. So again, I agree with that.
Group mechanics.
Not
Group
boss
mechanics.
mechanics.
Yeah,
Correct.
right,
Not
group
I
mechanics.
have to run and like hide in this corner of the
Yeah.
room
I
while
predict,
this thing is on the floor, you know.
I predict at some point in this game, I'm going to have to goose Militus to get a heal.
Yeah.
That might be a mechanic.
I predict at some point in this game, you will be texting me, begging me to go with you on an adventure so you can get some epic ability because you won't be able to get it by yourself.
I won't be able to get it, but I'll give him a little pinch on the butt and he'll give me a heal, right? Because that's
You
how
have to
group
kind of
mechanics-
reach down though because the dwarf butt's pretty low to the ground.
Yeah, it
so
is
you're
kind of
gonna
a low
have to-
to the ground, and I'm worried about how dwarfs are clean down there. It's going to be a weird, interesting
Militus
thing.
wants to play a dwarf cleric, is what he wants to
Mhm.
play
Yes.
Right now,
Uh,
dwarf player.
right
an
now.
understanding
Right,
that a
change my
truly challenging game is truly rewarding. Okay.
Yes.
Now, then this is the one, by the way, a challenging game. I like challenging games. Let's just hope that it's not challenging the way that WildStar wanted their raid to be challenging, which was nobody can
No.
do it. I'm hoping that's not what they're having in mind, but I'm just trusting that that's not what they mean. And I only said that because I would want to put that message out there. Like that raid was too hard. Okay. An understanding that player involvement is required for progression. All actions or lack thereof should have consequences. Positive actions should be rewarded. Apathy or lack of action should not be rewarded with bonuses. There you go. So they
Oh
want you to
my
be involved.
word! I love this tenet.
Yes.
This
Isn't
is
that
like
great?
amazing.
I love it. And it's going to feed into something I'd like to talk about a little bit later in the show, which is the faction and alignment system that they're talking about. So it's super exciting, you guys. It is
It is.
groundbreaking.
It
It's
is very exciting. There's a belief that meaningful character progression will always involve a player increasing in both power and prestige. There is a mindset that some degree of downtime should be a part of the game, ensuring players have time to form important social bonds.
Thank you, sweet baby Jesus. That I know this a controversial topic amongst MMO gamers.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, because it's go, go, go. Right?
When they see someone meditating or something, but that's where you get to talk to people and know people
Mhm.
and chit chat and have time to breathe instead of
Right.
running, trying to beat a clock in the upper corner of a screen. That is awesome. I think this is such a positive return to our foundations that it's one of the main reasons I'm attracted to the game is
Yeah.
downtime. I know that sounds crazy, but it really is.
Mhm.
No, I think so.
I'm-
I think that's great.
Yeah.
I
just want- I just
What do you
want the game to be constantly engaging, and even that engagement doesn't have to be I have to go out and do a daily and do the same thing over and over and over and over. I'm so excited.
Hey, Boom, before you go to the
yes,
next
yes.
tenant, just real quick,
Mhm.
Fragile asked, he knows what I'm playing, Dwarf Cleric, no doubt
Yes.
about it, or
Yes.
mostly. But what about
we're not 100%. I
But-
have a feeling that like alpha and beta and everything, we're gonna change our minds, but
But right now, today, what about you, Tess, and what about you, Boom? Obviously, by your
Boom?
images on
Oh,
your
I'm
screen, we can see
going
your
to be an
races.
Archai and I'm going to be a wizard. And you can lock that
That'll
one in
be
the
awesome.
books. You can lock that in the books. I'm not changing. Tess can change. I'm not changing. That's who I am
might.
right there.
Well, mine
you see
just
that?
depends
Look at
on
he
what's
looks
available.
just like
at
me.
release.
He's got my same body build, the same 6-pack abs, right? I glow like that at night. People didn't even know that about me, but I actually have a natural glow.
He
to
does.
My
He
abs
literally.
and chest
I've seen
that
it.
Looks just
he
like
shimmers.
that.
It's magical.
The other day, my wife had to trim my eyebrow hairs because they got a little long.
I bet she did. I bet that's true.
So
Hey,
that's a thing.
Pantheon Plus joined us. Pantheon
very
Plus
good, very
joined
good.
us.
Hello.
I love
Hi,
your
everybody.
videos.
And
Thank
I also
you for
have
your great content.
I also have the sweeping, flowing hair, or I did at one point in my life. So I am gonna say that is my character. I'm sticking with it. It looks just like me. It resonates with me.
And might change depending on what's available at release. Just so you know, I am the self-proclaimed queen of the nerds, and I love D&D. And my all-time favorite D&D character I ever played was a halfling bard, so named Lily. So I'm hoping that at launch I get to play a halfling bard. If I don't, then I might go druid. I'll probably play another utility class because I really enjoy doing like utility stuff. It also might depend on how tanking looks. Because I do also enjoy tanking in
Don't
MMOs.
let her downplay this. She is an amazing tank.
She's an amazing
tank.
Just because I'm always so angry.
Is that what it takes? You have to be angry to be a tank?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the thing? Okay, well, I'll
yeah, you always have to be furious.
I didn't realize that was a thing you had to be. Let's see, where was I here? A belief that an immersive world requires intelligent inhabitants. An understanding that faction and alignment should be an integral part of interacting with the world and its citizens. A sincere commitment to creating a world where focus on cooperative play will attract those seeking a challenge. I think we've been talking about this whole time, right? We want we are as seasoned MMO players, we're desperate for that ability to have to work together and get on the Discord with each other and just sort of work through content. And I think that's great. A belief that the greatest sense of accomplishment comes when it is shared. And I agree. We have clips, the three of us, of different times when we have conquered something together, where we scream and cheer and jump out of our seats and swear and cry. Right, we have blood, sweat, and tears going on with some of this stuff.
Oh my God, you guys!
that is going to be pretty fantastic. That's going to be pretty fantastic. So I love that. We have an agreement that player levels should be both meaningful and memorable, and we have an assertion that player versus environment should involve more than NPCs. They want you to engage the entire world, and I think that is something that I love these tenets. So if you get a chance, I want you to go online and look at them. It gives you an idea. It gives you an idea of really what the game is going to be shooting for, and I hope that they can stay true to it and really make it happen, because it's a very exciting time to be an MMO gamer. It really is. As part of that, I wanted to kind of share a little bit of lore. So I wanted to touch base briefly for everybody. A little bit about what Visionary Realms is about, but I wanted to kind of give you the lore of this. Now, if you go to the website and look up this lore, it's extremely cool how it's written, because it's almost written like a novel. It's excerpts from letters. It's like you're almost immersed in the world right away. You see some content. You can tell that some real effort went into this. There's some real creative process that was going on in the writing. There's some, you know what I like about the Pantheon team? There's passion. I feel like this was written with passion, and I love being a part of the creative process and this passion. So I wanted to give you guys a quick minute about what I took all of before the three different sections, the ages, yes. I just kind of got the information before the 3 ages. So I'm going to real quick share that, and that'll get us up to the 3 ages, and I figured on subsequent podcasts we'll talk about the ages. Does that seem fair? Can we just kind of
break them
work
down
through a little bit of that? Okay. So if I butcher names, I'm sorry, and I'll kind of go from there. But anyway, Terminus used to be called and as I've referred to it now, Nasty Rock. And at some point, it was called Avzul. Eovzul. That's the best way I can
I think
pronounce
that's what Fragile answered in
Yeah,
the.
that was Fragile's answer.
Because it was, and that was something actually thanks to a Reddit post. They helped me out with that because I didn't realize it had a third name. So there's this guy Rock Nathalmos, and he made an agreement with an unknown power to create the Dragon Accord, and that renamed the planet from Avzul to Terminus. And so that's kind of how it became Terminus, was this agreement. Now, that agreement comes into play a little bit later, as we're going to kind of learn as we kind of go through there. So anyway, you've got this group of dragons. Now, right here, guys, I'm super stoked. Because what did I say time and time again in one of our other podcasts? I want some dragons. I've been craving my dragons.
I promise you there will be dragons eventually, because they even said it in the lore that everybody knows that they effed off, but nobody there, they didn't leave. They're just
I'm so excited.
doing
Yeah, right. It's all there. So anyway,
I heard Joppa say this too. Just a quick tidbit. I heard him say on an interview with Basgrim that not all dragons that we will run into on Terminus are ones that we will try and fight and defeat.
Right.
There will be some dragons, he mentioned, that we will seek to learn from. That we might.
So maybe for like the living codex stuff?
I don't know. He just
dropped that out there.
That sounds so much fun.
Well, I love dragons, so I'm so excited about this. So anyway, so you've got this planet Terminus, and there's this set of dragons called the Rainborn that are controlling Terminus, right? And there is this beast, which I don't know if it was a dragon or not. I haven't been able to determine that. If you know in chat, just go ahead and send it to me. But anyway, this beast came up and actually killed off most of the sea dragons. So there was a bunch of sea dragons, and the air dragons, as Tess said, then effed off.
It was who I call rock salt.
You call him rock salt.
I call him rock salt.
I call him
rock salt. Was like the king of the dragons.
Yeah, rock Nathalmos. So anyway,
the air, well, not the dragons, the dragon
at the end of this, so you've got these three races that were there at kind of like this time at the end of this, where it's the elves, and you had the dwarves. I think the dwarves were the first onto the planet. And then you had the ogres.
The first that got sucked into you had two native races first.
And what happened is the dwarves were doing some stuff, and everybody's kind of having some fun. They're having a little party on the planet. There's like a lot of stuff. There's a little bit of war. They're like, but for the most part, they're keeping to their own. They're like hanging out, and they're okay by themselves. And the last of the dragons just like go into this like deep sleep hibernation. They just kind of like. And they think they're actually are dead because they sleep for so long. So I guess they take naps for centuries, which is kind of cool. So all of this leads up to this one mysterious thing that's going on Terminus. There is a mystery. There's a secret that Terminus has, and nobody can quite know what it is. So it's creating this kind of mystery. And the elves and the dwarves are kind of getting together a little bit. The ogres are doing their thing. And everybody's trying to figure out what this deep, dark secret is. So you've got kind of this mysterious force. You've got this big giant creature, and then you have all of these planets. And I have a list of all the planets, by the way, in the show notes. You guys can go take a look. I actually had to go through and figure out all the planets. I was like, what are the planets' names? There's a lot of planets, and everybody got sucked from these planets by a force unknown. So you've got all the races that are in the game, and they were brought there by an unknown force. I'm guessing the same force that this Rock Nathalmos
did the Dragon Accord probably.
Yeah, made the Dragon Accord with.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't quite know what's going on. But anyway, here's a couple other really cool points.
But isn't that cool that we don't know?
Right. The sense of adventure to
I
find
love that. It's so cool.
Right. Native to the planet are also a couple other things. I found the Tholen and the Elvonen giants are actually native to the planet. And so they created the calendar. So that's where that IH came from. So whenever you see the dates in the IH, that was actually created by the Tholen, and they're natives to the planet. There's all these other races coming. There's dragons. There's a lot of things going on. But that's kind of gives you a background. So we know there's some mystery here, and I think we're going to unpack the mysteries of why these different races are on the planet together. We're going to find out like why they were all brought there. But that's going to be, I think, part of the story.
But you know what's really cool, Boom?
Yeah.
We're going to unpack that without something.
What do you mean?
Without
little
exclamation
marks,
points or
without
question
little
marks.
exclamation points. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
None of those. We'll
It'll be
unpack
so-
all of this.
What I'm going to do...
Just-
What I'm going to do is I'm
gonna
going to
be
go
great.
around and goose all the NPCs. So I'm hoping there's a slash goose.
Of course you
I'm
will.
just going to give them a little pinch. And if I give them a little pinch and they talk to me, then I'll know, no, that's not appropriate in this day and age. You can't pinch people, I don't think. I'm going to not do that. All right. Sorry, guys. I'm not going to do that. There is a cult of dragon seekers. Now, this is something that interests me. This cult of dragon seekers. I'm hoping I can join them. But anyway, they're called the Sect of Perth, and they're searching for the dragons that chilled out. So the ones that effed off that Tess was talking about, they're like, I'm going to go try to find them. I would love to be in the Sect of Perth because that is right up my alley. I want to go track me down some dragons. So very exciting for that. Very exciting for that. So that is kind of the preliminary stuff. We're going to talk more. We're going to do a little lore segment as we kind of go. I just want everybody to kind of know a little bit about what the game is about. Get you kind of excited. I want you to go to pantheonmmo.com, and there you can see all the races and the classes. You can see all the different things to kind of be hyped up about, but you can also read some more lore, and you can sort of help me figure all this out, because that's the beauty of getting into a game at the ground level. You're not playing such catch up on a huge lore cycle. You're actually able to sort of ride along this and get on board right away. So it's good stuff.
And just so our listeners know, I've created a straw poll, and I'll put the link in our show notes, and it's on our Twitter as well. And it's just a straw poll. Once you go to pantheonmmo.com and check out all the races, it's just, what race do you think sounds like the most interesting? What's the race that at launch you would like to play? So I have...
I say that
archive.
Tess has biased the sample here because
Why?
her race is winning.
Yeah. It's all
It's
archive.
not my fault that
It's all the
halflings are
archive.
cool.
It's all the archive, and it's because they look like Boom. Like, if I take my shirt off, it's amazing how I look just like the archive. Like,
he looks like
it's
straight out of
really
Tron.
weird. It's so strange. It's almost like they got a picture of me at the beach or something and then just made this. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. That's what I'm going for is Halloween, guys. I'm gonna do the. I'm gonna do the light. I'm gonna get some
the archive.
Boom Kai, and I'm just gonna go for it. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna be my character. If you want to support Pantheon and get it kind of going, there is a part of the website where you can kind of join up, and you can be a part of the support. The game is not out yet. It's not going to be out for a little while. It's kind of in an early alpha state, so there's probably little sections of the game that are done. They're letting people test, and they're going to gradually get it kind of put together. We're thinking maybe end of 2019, possibly an alpha, maybe, I don't know, and then 2020, we're thinking maybe it'll go a little bit more than that. So we got a while, guys, to kind of ride this, and so we'll just be kind of along for this fantastic
Look at
journey.
it optimistically. It's not that we have that much longer to wait.
Yeah.
But think of it as an opportunity. That means we have that much more time to build a great community.
Yes.
And you get super hyped.
And that's what we want. Yeah. We want to have a great community. We want to hang out with you guys, and that's the important thing. We will probably
have some
nickname
cocktails.
You. We will mess up every one of your gamer tags. I promise we will not say them correctly.
Like fragile.
And we will have some fun at your expense. So definitely join us up, and we'll do that. Well, we're going to go ahead now and move into some stuff that we like to call our news segment.
Don't know your gaming news? Well, neither do we, but who the f*** cares?
All right, It's time for the gaming news, and I gotta say, all of this Pantheon.
I love
talk,
that bumper so much.
I'm very nervous. I'm having a hard time even just getting the flow of the podcast because I'm so apprehensive about all this new stuff. Everything's new. I don't even know how to do it yet. It's
well,
great.
don't let
It's
it
a
be
lot of
like a
fun.
negative, nervous anxiety thing. Make it like a positive,
Exciting.
super hyped, exciting thing.
It's kind of like Pi Day. Like when you wake up and you know it's Pi Day. That's a very
You
exciting
listen
time.
to Warrant. Yeah.
It's a very exciting time. And so here we are. It's Pi Day. We got some news. Militus, take us away. Give us your first story. Tell us what you know.
Our first story is one. I knew the community, so this is really, really cool. I did know this whenever I first decided to pledge, but once a month, Pantheon developers put out a newsletter where they kind of talk about, well, whatever's happening that month. And the January newsletter has come out, and there were some really, I think, important things dropped in it. And I know a lot of people were super excited to hope for an alpha date. But that's not there, but that will be coming in future newsletter, I'm sure. But one really cool thing that they did talk about was they had a Q&A in the newsletter with Ross Armstrong, who's their new lead animator. And I have to say, Tess mentioned this. I don't know if she mentioned the document.
It was last night, I think, while we were playing. Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, well, I'm not sure if this is what I'm thinking about specifically, but you're like, how cool is it that while a lot of other games are shedding people, Visionary Realms is hiring great, talented people like Ross Armstrong. And so Ross, in this Q&A, he gives us some insight into his goals and what he's going to be doing with animations. And I clipped this statement out of what he said. I wanted to kind of get your thoughts about it. He said, "Our intention is to have race-specific animations." But he also stated later in the interview, Pantheon has an aggressive production schedule, and there's a ton of animation assets to create. When he was asked about the biggest challenge he would face. So my thoughts and questions to the two of you and to chat is, on one hand, it's awesome, right? That we're going to have race-specific animations, but on the other hand, that creates a lot more work. So what are your thoughts about that?
I, first of all, love this dude. You know why? He worked on Marvel Heroes.
Yeah,
one of my favorite games.
That's one of your favorite games.
That's one of my favorite games. I was heartbroken when that thing shut down. And so I just want to tell everybody, based on the work he did in Marvel Heroes, this is going to be really, really fantastic stuff. Like, we're in for a good time. My Arkai is going to look sweet. Almost as good as me. And I think to answer your question, though, I'm not super duper. I just want good gameplay at the end of the day. I like
the
good looking
reason
stuff.
I asked
I like all that.
I would have been okay with
with
come kill me. Okay, don't come through the computer after Militus.
Everybody come running after you.
I was almost anticipating, with it being crowdfunded, that there were not going to be race specific animations.
I agree.
And so I was surprised. I was like really surprised about that. That's why I asked the question.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like, that is kind of surprising, but here's what's not why I guess it wasn't crazy surprising, because how long this game has been kind of in development. It's obvious that they're not just going to throw out some crowdsourced POS product. They're going to release a killer game that not only plays great, sounds great, is beautiful, has amazing story. They're doing it all. And now, with that being said, I have a feeling that once it gets into the hands of some community members at alpha and beta, some of those animations still will probably not be in the game, and that's fine by me. That's what alpha and beta is for. It's just for like stress testing different situations. But I thought it was really cool that they went and hired somebody like Mr. Armstrong. That made me go, wow, then this is something that they're serious about. So
all signs are
And
pointing
Oh yeah,
to
Gods
this
and
game.
Heroes. Fragile said, yeah, he
Mhm.
was on Gods and Heroes Rome Rising. I forgot that. Yeah.
All signs are pointing to.
It's going to be a gorgeous game.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. Like that's kind of what's so cool is I'm getting the impression actually that originally the idea was to kind of just do what they had to do to kind of get it out and get some of their ideas going and that stuff. What I'm now starting to see is I think based on the fact that they're getting positive feedback and people want the game, that now they're like, okay, we actually need to do a couple of these things because it's really going to add to the experience. So I'm actually seeing a game company look at something and say, we now need to go further because we're onto something here. And I think that's the exciting part for me.
And we have the resources to do it. A lot of development studios have ambition, but they don't have the resources to see that ambition to fruition. So the fact that they actually have the resources tells me not only are they getting a confirmation boom from the community about their positive vibes, but like people like us, right? People like in the chat are putting their wallets behind it and saying, you know what, here's some cash. We really believe in you. We believe in the product you're developing, and go hire Mr.
People.
Armstrong.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
Go
Make it
hire
happen.
talented people.
And Mr. Armstrong is just the latest. I mean, if you look at the list of people that they have involved with this title, there are some great people involved in the production of this game. So, this is not some mom and pop. I'll be honest. The last kind of crowd-funded development thing that I was super excited about was um uh World of Darkness VTM stuff.
yeah.
If you guys remember this,
It got
it
canceled,
it
right?
got canceled and that got picked up by a Russian company that I was just like, I don't know any of these people. I've never heard of any of them. And it's hard to trust somebody you don't know, but there are people on here that and I trust them.
I mean, we got names like Brad McQuaid
Yeah.
of EverQuest. We got names like Ben Dean. We got names like Chris Perkins. Like, these people are highly respected people running the studio. So yeah, I trust, as Bazikrim would say, trust in Pantheon. He even has a little sign he holds up.
I know.
Trust
I
in
like him.
Pantheon.
He's nice.
You're gonna see some good.
Gotta say this.
You're gonna see
This
some
guy,
good stuff.
Oh,
Go ahead.
the
I'm
community is
sorry. I'm
awesome,
interrupting.
period. But can I say, as a distinguished middle-aged man, can I just say that seeing a young guy like that, what do you guys think he is? He's got to be in his
He's got to be in his 20s.
Maybe mid-20s is what I'm guessing.
Yeah.
To see a mid-20s guy pumped about an MMO makes me so happy. I can't even begin to tell you how happy it is, because that means that there is a segment of our population that's younger that loves these games. Like, I love the games, and that gives me hope that we'll have more and more new people come into the game to give it life and breath.
Yeah, it's not just for us old people anymore. Come on, young blood.
Young blood.
Ross Armstrong.
Don't play Fortnite. Come play MMOs.
One of the things about Ross Armstrong was he was talking about he used the word "feel right" a couple times in the article, and this is something that I actually really appreciate, because I don't know if you remember early WildStar. So we were there early WildStar, and the animations felt disconnected from the world, and that's what I'm talking about when I say I just want a good game that plays good, that's a lot of fun. Is that at first that game, the animations did not feel like they were part of the world. Like, it didn't feel connected. It was really weird. And you could tell, like, he was like, no, it's got to feel like it's part of it. It's got to feel, because it's really those keys. It doesn't have to be super flashy or the next greatest, innovation in technology or anything like that. It's just got to feel good and play good. That's all it's really got to do. And I really could tell he's committed to that, and so I'm excited to hear what's coming. So we're excited.
Me too.
Yeah.
Well, another part of the newsletter that I wanted to touch on just real quick was Ben Dean. By the way, it's really cool. If you've never taken time to look at the Pantheon newsletter, you should, because it's a web page and they have it, linked in the subsections.
And they have it set up in like 4 or 5 different like segments.
Yeah, it's so cool. I love the way they do it. But Ben Dean had a year in review in the under wraps section, where he kind of, talked about how far they come in 2018 and what to look forward to in 2019. And this is where I kept hearing this term. And being new to the community, Project Fairthale is the big release he said that they've never done. So it will take some time, and we appreciate your patience and continued support as we approach this milestone. You can also look forward to a new website, lots of new videos, yes, content, and a few surprises along the way, Tess. So buckle in, grab your codex, and get ready for an incredible year. And I know I'm super excited. Yeah. They seem really transparent. Ben Dean seems like a kind of guy you could approach at a cocktail party and have a great conversation with. So I am excited about this new timeline, and I'm excited to check. I think it's going to be the 3rd week of every month is when they're going to release this newsletter. So I'll be looking forward to it every month going forward, and we'll cover it on the podcast.
An apple pie party or something like that, like for everybody to come to.
I don't think anyone let Ben Dean know that today was Pie Day. Yeah, they forgot to tell him.
Oh, okay, because it could be like a pie party or something that we get to do.
Pie party.
So that would be good. It's you get all the pie together, in a room. You just get some pieces of pie. It's really it's a fun day for everybody. So we got Visionary Realms hiring a visual effects artist.
Yeah, Tess mentioned this before, and she made the point. I'm like, hey, they just hired Ross. Isn't this great? And Tess is like, not only that, they've hired a bunch of other people. And if you go look on their Twitter feed and their website, they have job postings right now for a visual effects artist, web developer, and design development operations engineer, which makes sense given the timeline that Ben gave us. Like the web developer obviously is going to be producing a new, robust, wonderful website. So yeah, they're hiring now. That means they have the money to do so. And Tess loves it, don't you, Tess?
She's got her mic muted, which is pretty funny. So that's okay. We'll just let her keep it mic.
She doesn't like
we'll just let her. I know, right? She was just not. We should have just nodded a lot, and not. And we could have seen how long. No, that would be mean. Okay, go ahead.
Are you awake?
Oh, are you sure you're awake, Tess? Wake up, Tess. Here we are. We're doing
awake.
A podcast, Tess. Are you here, Tess?
Lord in heaven.
Tess, we're recording a show.
Guys, this is going to be a common theme. The boys making fun of me.
No way, man. We would never make fun of you.
Then I just get an itch, and I just scratch my eye.
That just happened. All right. Amazing voiceovers.
And the last story we had a voiceover. And I wanted to play a little bit of it.
Yeah, okay, go for it.
If you haven't listened to this, I'm going to play a little bit of this.
Therefore, their reduced stature is an advantage, an unassuming and agile extension of their personalities and gifts, whether in danger, discourse, or dance.
They dance a lot. The halflings dance.
Oh, so good.
It's so good.
Halflings.
Halflings.
I can hear Tess like squeeing.
It is good. Here's a little known fact though. They did call me this week and asked me to do some voiceovers for the Archai. Because I resemble them so much.
Because the body image was so close to that of yours.
They said
they thought, well, Boom must have the voice for
They were like, this is how the Archai should sound. So so here I'm just gonna go ahead and give them a sample so that they so here it is. This is gonna be my my vocal take for the Archai. This is take one. Hold on, I gotta get my voice real deep.
I don't think that's what the Archai sound like.
No, that wasn't it. Okay, here we go. Here we go. It's Pie Day, and everybody knows that the Archai like pie. More than anything else, the Archai search the valley for the perfect pie. The kind of pie
I
that they can bring home to mom. That's right.
I want to
It's pie day.
apologize to Chris Kane.
Wow.
That was good. That was good.
VO
Wasn't that
artist
good?
Who just keep
Man.
that in your mind, everybody. Listen, and then compare it to this. Compare it to
An inherent mirth and musicality sit atop.
yeah, pretty much the same thing. Yeah.
Well, but I was doing the
Apologize.
Archai. He was doing the halflings. I was doing the Archai. So you got to be fair. The Archai have a
You
little bit more
guys-
of my voice, my style, because they're a little more like me. So you got to give them some slack. All right. Well, there you go. There's my voice. Audition. I'll work on it. I'll send in some tapes. We'll see
Brad,
what we can do.
Mr. McQuaid, he'll work for cheap. Just give him
free.
a job doing the archive.
Yeah, for free. The Archai are not greedy people. We are not. We, when you look this good, like really, do you need to be that greedy? You don't really have to be that greedy.
Oh my lord.
Like,
Hey, one
just
last
sorta
thing about
happens.
that great voiceover work. Chris Kane's
Yes.
actually a fun follow on Twitter too. So
okay, I'll have to do that.
give him a follow.
What's his handle?
I'm gonna send him a
At-
demo. I'm gonna record a demo and send it to Chris Kane. So we'll find his Twitter handle, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna record something. We'll go ahead and send it off to him, and we'll see what pointers he gives us or he gives me, and we'll get those on the show. Does that sound fun? I think that sounds like a good time. We'll get lots of fun
Chris
things on the
Kane
show.
VO at ChrisKanevo.
Yeah.
Chris Kane.
We get lots of fun things like that, we'll work on it. You know who would do an equally good job of voicing the Archai? Just tossing this out there. Coltrane.
Coltrane.
Yes, he
Coltrane.
would.
Oh my lord.
Let's
That'd be
get a
so
hold of
good.
Coltrane, Militus. Let's you and him are buddies. Get a hold of Coltrane, and what I'd like you to do is see if there's any chance that you can maybe see if Coltrane we could do a Coltrane versus Boom archive voice
Archive
shootout.
contest.
Ooh, I don't
Okay.
know.
And we'll take my voice versus
That
them. We'll
sounds
go
like
ahead and
to
let
me,
people vote.
You just laid the challenge down at the feet of that.
I did. I said, Coltrane, it's either you or me for the voice of the Archai. Let's throw down.
We need a script. we
And,
need a common script.
Yeah, we need a common script.
And then they'll each
we'll
record
let him
it.
record it, and then I'll record it. And we'll just see who wins. We'll just let it be fair. It's gonna be, we're just gonna go with it. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
I'm gonna
yeah.
send him a DM. And
Okay.
I'm gonna see if we can get this
Yeah,
going.
you just say the
totally.
challenge has been laid.
Yeah.
The voice of the
Boom laid down the
Archai,
challenge.
engage, and I
And he is following this game, by the way.
yeah,
Just
and I will
Yes.
accept the winner. But I'm not gonna cry foul here. I'll accept whoever wins because I feel as if my presence, like I feel like an Archai, so I feel like I got a shot at this. I'm feeling it in my bones. All right, that's what I'm talking about.
let's take Boom out of his dream.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you are married by 14, you might be from Tennessee. If your pie sits in the windowsill and waits for you to come home, you might be from Tennessee. That's right. It's time for the Militus Reddit segment. Militus, what do you got? You like to scour the Reddits and you like to look up some good info, and that's what you're going to give us right now. What
Yeah,
juicy
every
bits?
time we record the podcast, I'm gonna try to grab one really cool Reddit thread and one really cool thread from the official Pantheon forums.
Oh, fantastic!
This week, I grabbed a Reddit thread titled "Playing a Social MMO Without Voice Chat," and it was posted by user Matea.
Maitea, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they say this, they're talking about Pantheon, of course. Everything about this game sounds awesome to me, and I'm ready to pledge. There's just one thing that I want to ask community before I do. I do have APD, or auditory processing disorder, and listening to any voice chat is very stressful to me. So I try to play games that can be played without it most of the time. She says the occasional raid with voice chat is fine. Pug groups with voice chat or guilds mostly talking there would not be fun for me. Disabling it in-game is not a solution because I really like the social part of MMOs and love to talk in guild chats and even pugs. It's the big thing about MMOs for me to do. Do you people think I would mostly feel left out of this game, that being Pantheon, especially regarding pugs? I think I might be able to find a guild with people committed to text chat because I read all the posts in the forums about the voice text chat topic and saw there's quite a bunch of people who don't like voice chat at all. So I could try to join a guild with them. So yeah, pug play is what the question is mostly about. I don't want to feel left out. Opinions for Ataya. What do you guys think about this dilemma?
Well, I would say, Mattia, I'm with you. I honestly never voice chat, and I'm tanking currently in pug play. I don't voice chat. It's all text chat. Mainly because with pug play, in the game that I am playing right now, where I'm tanking, pug chat probably isn't what you want to be listening to.
No.
So I would say that pug play is most people, at least most people that I'm aware of who are mature, active gamers and have done this for a long time, are totally cool with not chatting during pugs. Text chat is fine. So I think you'll probably be fine. But I think you answered your own question. You depends on the guild, but I don't think you're gonna miss pug any content with chat and pugs. That's my.
What do you
2
think,
cents.
Ben? What do you think?
This might have been brought up in the answers in the Reddit. I didn't really get a chance to look at it, but I'm wondering if there's not a technology solution to sort of help out. Some sort of speech to text. I know that we have our speech to text for our messages that get sent to the 702-625-1337 hotline there. And although
they're always
funny,
so accurate.
Yeah, but even though they're not perfectly accurate, you can kind of get some stuff. I played with a guy that had the opposite problem. He actually couldn't see very well, and he played Star Wars, and you had to type everything in all caps to sort of help him out a little bit in chat. And everybody was real gracious to do it. Like, we tried to help and stuff like that. And occasionally you'd forget and he'd be kind of like, I can't see that, right? And it was really frustrating for him. And he might have been on the opposite spectrum, but people are pretty nice about trying to sort of help out. So maybe even if you do find a group to play with that's not where you still need to communicate, maybe you'll just find a group that doesn't like to talk as much as I do. Like, I'm the wrong group because I will talk. But, there's probably some people out there that are like, I don't really want to talk that much. And that might be a good group. So then it's like a happy medium because when you do need to talk, you could talk. But then the rest of the time, you could just,
Yeah, I sing in the middle of raids.
Yes, she does.
That's tough. It's tough whenever you have something going on and you're dealing with it. That's tough.
But I think being honest with and everything that I've seen so far about this community is extremely non-toxic. Like, everybody is very welcoming so far. And, I'm sure, there's always going to be a handful of poop faces, but I think just
because we're talking about MMO gamers here. We're talking
MMOs.
About,
yeah.
They might argue over the color of a longsword for 3 days. It could, you know what I'm saying? Like it can get a little rough. So yeah.
But if you think about the key tenets, like what you were talking about before, Boom, I think to answer her question, I think they are going to be fine. And here's why. If a key tenet in the game is downtime, that's the perfect time to chat. Right? I mean, and two, I think back to my most fond memories back in my early days in MMOs. This is back, with Ventrilo and stuff like that, Mumble. And a lot of times those are paid services. And I know early on when I would run pug groups, I didn't have their mumble or ventrilo,
Right.
and we would have to stop and say, okay, CC this mob. Hey, Militus, I need you to heal me here. I'm going to off tank this.
It's
And
really
we
a
were always
speed
doing
thing,
by
isn't it?
Chat.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's really a
because
speed
if you
thing.
can kind of slow down and smell the roses, you can have time to chat. So I think this game is built to enjoy it. Really, I don't know that it's necessary. I mean, I think it certainly in raiding settings, it's probably going to be required by some raid groups, but I think
for a regular dungeon, I mean, I guess it really depends on the level of difficulty, but I bet you won't run into too many problems with people being like, well, if you don't have chat on, you can't run with us.
Yeah.
So I'd be surprised.
And me too.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on to our second story, and this is from the Pantheon forums. And this one, I'm just going to say to everyone listening, breathe with me for Tess, because when I read this, she's going to explode. But here we go. Should bards do damage? Written by Baron999.
Mm-hmm.
Singing songs and playing instruments is something that happens in an area effect or within a certain range. So for me, bards would hardly have any single target abilities with the lyrical or instrumental range. Songs and other music is hardly damaging unless it is played extremely loud. So I will grant them that one type. To me, it can boost morale and abilities of others or debuff foes in similar fashion. With this type of damage possibly being mental damage, should Pantheon open up the damage type or not at all? Buffs influencing the group is something that again affecting all within range. Should bards be able to buff a single target? How would you explain that? Debuffs have the same issues. One sing or play more one sing or play a demoralizing mobs in that group. I could see how a charm or lullaby could impact a single foe, but still, if single damage is hardly possible using this style of abilities, perhaps bards would have other tools or means to damage foes, such as ranged weapons or melee weapons. Go, Tess.
Hold my beer. I am ready with an answer. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So the first thing that you have to understand when talking about this, and by the way, I followed this post on the Pantheon forums, and I posted this exact response to the Pantheon forums. So, and a lot of people were saying the same thing as what I'm about to say. So, bards are magic users. The end. Magic cheats. Magic is not some, it doesn't follow physics. It's not real. We have to put aside the realism. When some guy is playing his flute and makes some guy head explode, that doesn't make any sense in the real world. But you have to think of, they're not playing the flute and making some guy's head explode. They're casting a spell through their instrument. Okay. So I get it. I understand what this guy is saying. So let's go ahead and break it down. Let's make it a little more realism. So, and as I said at the beginning of the cast, I'm a hardcore like D&D player. So I'll probably be spinning this a little bit like kind of towards some D&D aspects. But in like D&D, bards have two types of damaging spells. One are like an AoE, which is kind of like you play a power chord on your guitar and you make an earthquake, And in that situation, it'd be like like force damage, like bludgeoning damage, just the same type of damage as, somebody hitting them with a mace. Or it would be a single target mental damage, kind of like a front man being like, "Hey, baby," like some groupie in the front row, and then she faints, like, "Ah." Okay,
Like my Arkai.
So,
mm-hmm.
Like your Arkai, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I understand. I understand why Baron 999 is talking about some of that stuff, but the absolute answer is yes. Bards can single target because it's magic. Okay. Bards can do multiple different types of damage depending on the effect of their spell. I do not think that any of that is a stretch. I mean, it's not realism. It's like asking, how can a wizard possibly be able to cause a fireball to explode from their hand? Where's the realism in that? Well, it's not realism. It's fantasy.
Right.
Bards are cool, and I will play bard.
Bards are cool. Bards are cool. And has anybody heard of the brown note? I mean, seriously. Nobody wants to poop their pants. You've had a whole day of eating pie, and then some bard comes along and hits the brown note. It's not good. It's not good. I'm telling you. You can do this.
No, it's not.
Wow.
You can do this. Like, I think it's I think that's what it is.
But I have a question. So I think we kind of talked about it a little bit in the pre-show, but they said that bards are on the website, it says that bards are a quote unquote stretch goal.
Mm-hmm.
What do they exactly mean by that? Is it a time situation? Like if it's ready, or do they need more resources to develop that? Because when I hear stretch goal, I think different things in terms of different sorts of context.
Yeah, I think it was related to funding.
Was
when
it?
Term stretch goal, I'm thinking funding. Like
That's what I thought at first
funding?
too.
Yeah, but again, I'm gonna.
It could
I'm gonna
be just the
link you-
splits though, because you get a stretch goal. Like you're kind of like, I'm 3 feet off the ground. I want to get to 2 feet off the ground, and eventually I want to touch the ground. Like those are stretch goals. Downward dog.
Okay.
I want to be able to get my leg above my head.
Some yoga. I
I'm gonna
understand.
do this YouTube video with Basgram and Perkins or Joppa, and he says it. I'm telling you, he's like, all but confirms that they'll be there at launch. So, and I know, Fragile has posted some newer stuff in chat, but if he says it, I'm pretty confident that they're going to be there. The Necro, I'm not confident.
They're going to have to work
But I
on the
think the
pecs of the Archai, and they might not have time to get the bard in. So,
the abs and the pecs.
You know what I'm saying? They're going to be like working on like kilt animations and lots of different things going on there. And so they might have to put the music aside. You know, I don't know. This is the one time where bard doesn't. I think bards are fun, but I don't know why I don't want to play a bard in this one. I don't know why.
Well, no,
I think
it's because
this is
I
like
understand.
so fantasy. Like I want to play like the traditional things.
The thing that makes me excited about Bard is its idea of living codex. And this is where this thread kind of continued. Like, wouldn't it be cool if you had to go gather all of these bits of a song?
Right.
And in order to put them together, I think it just sounds like so much fun.
Bits of a song.
You would. It fits your personality, fits your interest. I can see that. And again, I mentioned it before in the pre-show. I think they have to ship with it because if you're going to have the quaternity, as I call it, instead of the trinity, you got to have more than one CC class option.
Yeah.
You just do. So not everyone's going to want to play an enchanter. So
there's 1,000 different directions.
And you can do similar things.
Yeah.
Then that's great. You have
directions
options.
they can go. Yeah. And I think that's what you do is the bard is that wild card that can make a comp work. You know? So you could come up with some ideas, and then here comes the bard, and
I need
now
to
all
calm
of a
down.
sudden everything's pretty
I need to
awesome.
calm down.
Well, this music can only mean one thing. That's right. We love our community. We're going to get soft with the community right now. We're going to cozy up to them, and we've got a couple community matters things to mention. We've got, you fill us in, Militus, on your community matters stuff you got going.
The first person, I kid you not, Test Boom, you must attest to this because I don't want Pantheon Plus to think I'm only doing this because
this is in show notes.
Literally, I have you in the show notes, right? And I have you in the show notes for a specific thing go out to the website. You definitely want to watch Pantheon Plus's breakdown video of the Enchanter. They put it out recently. I watched the whole thing. It's so cool.
It is good.
I'm not even planning on playing an Enchanter class, but I watched the whole video. It's really, really good. So go check out
Super
Pantheon
cool.
Plus breakdown.
So
Basgrim, Basgrim produced a new format, what he calls his Baz Flash, and it's like this very short and truncated.
It's 60 seconds.
60 seconds. It's like really quick.
I have
So
a
if you wanna
boom
get
flash, but
your,
it's a
like-
totally different thing.
No, we don't want to know about it.
Yeah, I have this boom flash I do, but it's not. It's
No.
banned in
Holy
several
crap.
countries. YouTube doesn't even allow it. All right, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Baz. All right.
Yeah, we don't want to hear about the boom, jazz, or jizz, or flash, whatever it is. Okay, moving on.
Too far. Too far. Took it too far.
So Joe Leonard claps back at Asmongold, trashing Pantheon on stream.
It
It's-
is hilarious.
It's so good.
It's so funny.
Tess talked about the toxicity that we're kind of worn down from,
Yeah.
and
right.
it's just nice to see someone push back against that toxicity.
Yeah, it
with
is.
reason,
It
cogent
is.
thought. So thank you,
Yeah.
Joe, for
I
having.
watched
reason
that. I
thought.
was just like,
I loved it. It was so great.
I was just so like, I have a hard time with why somebody wants to pee on
Bash
the picnic.
something.
Yeah, I
It-
know.
it's like
mean.
if somebody's
Without even
loving a
knowing
thing or
about it.
enjoying a thing, yeah,
No.
no, and it's like, who really cares if I like Pantheon and I'm a former WoW player and a former Guild Wars 2 player and a former SWTOR player and a former this player and a former that player. I don't have to have an allegiance.
Ultimate Online player.
I don't need to have an allegiance though. That's what I'm trying to get with people on this stuff. I love to support good communities and good people, and I love to be so upbeat and positive with everything. But I don't need to be like, since I like this company, I can't like that company. Like this is like a Coke and Pepsi thing. It's like the Cola Wars back in the 90s created this deal where, oh man, I only drink Coke, and if I get a Pepsi, I'm gonna throw it on your face and tell you what a moron you are. It's just weird. Like I watched that and I just kind of was like, what a sad state of affairs. And I know he was doing it for his streamers, like to try to like.
But the thing was, his streamers were like arguing with
Yeah.
him. And like,
Hey,
wait, what are you talking?
I'm gonna tell you,
whatever.
when we announced that we were gonna do Pantheon Rise of the Fallen podcast, we got a 1-star review immediately on our.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was
Oh,
like
wow.
that fast, and they were immediately saying, "I play WoW. I don't like Pantheon. I'm not interested." It's kind of like a
Really?
screw you, Pantheon.
That makes me sad.
That's what current
That's
WoW
okay.
players are
How
right
are
now.
people raised?
It's just WoW players
What did
right
your
now.
mother tell
not all
you?
of them. Not all WoW players, by the way. I don't want to pigeonhole anybody, but the vocal Reddit
Minority.
and all these people out there are the ones that are vocal with everything, and some of the influencers and stuff like that are just not nice. and WoW didn't have that for a long time, and right now, for whatever reason, they've got this real elitist kind of group that's taken over, and it's actually, to be honest, it's a problem for Blizzard right now. They've got to get a hold of those people, because that's making it hard on their business model as well.
Well, luckily, we don't have that problem. We have a great community over here.
You have phones. All right,
Great.
right?
And
right?
and
They
I just want to
created
say
that.
this. Life is too stressful in
Yes, no
a
doubt.
day-to-day situation. I have
Seriously.
decided I am gonna just be nice and positive all the time.
But
The end.
My thing is, why cover it if you just don't like the thing? Why cover it? Like, just don't. Like,
Yep.
it's the whole, you don't have
Yeah,
anything nice
just
to say, don't say anything at all. Just be
Don't
done
say
with
anything
it.
at all. 100%.
I love a lot of games. There's some things about some games that drive me nuts. There's always going to be. And if I had one message, by the way, to anybody that is close to Pantheon, Rise of the Fallen, and all the people that work on it, just make a game that's fun. Just make a game that's fun for you, and don't listen to the masses. Like, I love getting input and things like that from people, but ultimately, I want to play a game where I feel like their passion was put into it, and that the designers made a game that they wanted to play, that they were passionate about, because that'll carry over and I'll enjoy it too. And so
Well,
that's,
too, and they'll
that's
stick
my
to their
biggest thing.
tenets that you
Yeah,
read
you just
earlier.
stick
Boo.
to it. Yeah,
You know what I
stick,
mean? Yeah,
just stick to your guns. Make the game that you want to make. Don't let us influence you. You know, if you don't want to make the archive super cool, I'm not gonna get upset about it. But even though we know that's where you're going,
They're already
and we
cool.
know,
Come on.
and we know you're gonna make that's gonna be the best class in the game. We already know that.
Race.
You know,
Okay.
it's the
That
best
was cool,
race. Sorry,
sport.
class. I said class like 4 times tonight. You realize I'm exhausted, and I'm still in
Yeah,
my
we
work
do.
clothes, and yeah, right. My voice is shot because I've been yelling at people all day. It's really just kind of crazy. Well, one other thing I wanted to do, but I gotta find this because this is really important. And it's not that, and it's not that, and it's not that. Here we go.
Oh no, is it back? It's back. No, I was hoping that it had actually died. No, I'm being positive. This is great. So good.
There we go. It's time for shout outs. That last guy is the one we wait for. He's the most awesome. There's
cool.
one last guy goes, it's great. It's great. Shout outs. Militus, you got any shout outs?
I got a couple shout outs to one to Joe Leonard, who I mentioned before, did the clapback at Asmongold. In his video,
Yeah.
as a psychologist, when people use the term cognitive dissonance and I hear it and they use it in
Correctly?
a meaningful, correct way, it makes me super happy. So, Joe, thank you for making me super happy and using cognitive dissonance in your rebuttal. Also, I want to give a shout out to Mojo Risen, who sent me a friend request in the forums, and to
very
the
cool.
nice people in the forums who have welcomed me
Yeah.
when I
They're
post.
so nice.
And lastly, I want to give a shout out to Kilson. I don't have this in the show notes, but Kilson was so quick. I emailed them. I'm like, hey, we want to do this show. And they were super supportive, giving me all the resources to help us be a part of the community. So thanks to Kilson as well.
That's great. That's great. Tess, how about you?
I'm a shout out to
Shout out.
Pantheon. I'm so excited. I don't know
What
what
about all
to
the
do.
great people in our
Well, everybody in chat.
Yeah.
Everybody in chat and oh my gosh, I've missed this so much from our old streams. Just having engaged listeners that are asking questions and having a conversation and being kind and just being awesome. I mean, if this is a taste of what the Pantheon community is going to be like, this game is going to be just fine.
And I
It's gonna be
promise
just
everybody
fine.
next week I'll have my act together and it'll be a lot smoother. So I apologize for those of you who suffered through the stream and everything that's not working and all that stuff. You guys are amazing. I will have the podcast out. It'll sound fine and everything will be good there. But thank you so much for putting up with the nonsense that was going on. Say Rain from Reddit, he has made a Google document that he did like this really cool timeline of how all of the events happened. So if you're a lore buff, I really recommend going through and reading this document because it's fantastic. So I posted it in show notes. Very nice people. And I'm like Militus, everybody that I've run into so far has been super cool and has been nice and not mean to me.
Welcoming.
And that's great. And usually everybody's mean to me right away. So, that's just the way it goes. And that's okay. That's all right. You can be mean to me. We'll see who's laughing when I take on Coltrane in the voice contest. All right. Other than that, I don't have any other shout outs. I always shout out to Jeremy W. at Oak Productions. He's got he made the beautiful music that you're hearing right now. And be sure to go out and reach us. Last thing before I let you go, guys, if you want to support the show, all we ask is that you go to twitch.tv/Standing in Fire Podcast and, give us a follow. Or if you feel so inclined, go ahead and use your Amazon Prime sub and hook us up. Those Amazon Prime subs, believe it or not, pay all of our server costs and all of that kind of stuff. And, you already have one of those on your account. So if you want to help us out, just, that's a good way you can kind of support the show. Other than that, guys, we are out. You didn't do it.
I couldn't think of anything. Sorry, last minute I forgot that I was doing that.
Just gone, it's pie day.
No, I probably should have, but I couldn't think of anything.
Okay.
I like froze like a deer in headlights.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
We were so good about
Chile,
Pie
do
Day, by the
not
way. We were so good about
Oh
Pie
my
Day.
gosh.
We didn't even say anything about Pie Day. We could have said so
Wow.
much about Pie Day, and we didn't even
All right,
say anything.
I have got to
about
use
Pie
a
Day.
little Tessa's room. I'll be right back.
That was the funnest. That was